Okay guys, today I wanted to make a little video going over currency because I think that when people make those YouTube videos online, they are not really explaining important shit in a way that you can understand it as like a new human being, new to Path of Exile. So I'm gonna put a couple things in here, just prepping for this video. Okay, so first things first, when you pre-order the game, which, you know, if you're playing now, you did, right? We're all in early access. So if we go to our microtransaction shop, we go to shop, I want you to buy a currency stash tab, okay? This is huge. I bought a gem stash tab too, but you absolutely need a currency stash tab. Feel free to look into the other ones further. But they give you 300, tokens or whatever. And so I've only spent money on these things here. And what that allows you to do is, that's why you'll see streamers and shit will have these green tabs. And they'll have even more tabs that they'll put here. They bought them, okay, with coins. That's how that they have them there. You can't just you're not doing something wrong by not enabling them or whatever. Okay, and then having that currency stash tab is so big, right? Because if you've played probably 30 minutes, you'll notice how quickly this bag gets consumed with stuff. Quickly you're running out of space. This will just make it so much easier for you to just kind of put that crap somewhere else. So essentially what you'll do is every time you go out into your little missions, teleport back, right? Teleport back and just put your stuff in your stash, and then just teleport right back and continue on with your mission. You don't have to wait till you're done with the mission to teleport back. It's important to know. Okay, so first things first, it can get a little confusing because you're like, I don't understand. Should I be holding on to all this equipment, or should I be upgrading it, or I don't know what to do. Okay, so take my item right here. We'll put it over here. This is a character which I haven't progressed on at all. And I have this quarterstaff, and it's a normal item. How do I know it's a normal item? Because it's white. It's like gray instead of gold, right? And so what I want to do is upgrade the item. So I'm going to go over to my Orb of Transmutation, and that's the one where it says normal. It's just a normal, meaning white. Okay? So I'm going to right click it, drag it over. And now I have a new thing added, a new modifier. Okay? Now if I go in and try to upgrade that normal item again, it won't let me. Target isn't normal anymore. Okay? So now this is what the Orb of Augmentation's for. I will make a magic item with a new modifier. So let's drag that over. Okay, now I have fire damage. This is awesome. So now my auto attacks will do fire damage, and my other abilities have a chance to do fire damage too. But let me see if I can do one more. I can't. Okay, so I can't upgrade it because a normal item can only have 2 modifiers. Okay, so now if I want to make that item into a rare, I have to use an Exalted Orb. And I unfortunately don't have one for the purposes of this video. I used it for other items on a different character. But you would take your Exalted Orb and upgrade this one. And so that's the general order that you're always going to follow through. So, but let's say I really liked my item, okay? What you're going to do is use these whetstones, and you're going to upgrade your item. And that's going to increase the quality of the item. And that can go all the way up to 20%. So they adds 3%. You can see it goes up to 20%, and it adds 3% per whetstone. You can use an Artificer Orb to add a rune to this item. Okay, you might not know what a rune is, so I'll go over here. So we have these runes, right? And as you progress through the game, you're going to pick all this stuff up, okay? But you have body runes, glacial runes, mind runes, inspiration, rebirth, just all kinds. What you would do is you would drag it over and just put it in that slot. And important to note, I have a bug occasionally that'll happen where it won't let me put it in if I have equipped. So if you run into this problem, I can't equip that, unfortunately. I don't know. We'll pretend that you understand what's happening. But if you run into that problem where you're trying to put it here, just take the item off and put it in your inventory, and then it'll let you add that. And so, essentially, you want to do this all game. So I don't have any exalted orbs. Why? Because I use them. I want to use them on my items that I'm trying to progress for the game with. Don't worry about like running out of stuff. It's early access. Play with your build. Have fun with your build. So let's say I got my gold item. Let's say I upgraded my item to gold, right? And now I have this extra gold item that I don't really want, or I can't really use anymore. So let's see what I do with this one. So I want you to do this throughout the game. The first place you're going to do it is Una.
Sorry, I was just...
And I want you to disenchant the item. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to disenchant it, and she's going to give us a regal shard. So now I go back to my stash, right? And I'll show you. Regal shards go in this spot right here. So I'm going to control and click it. And that'll move it right over to where it needs to be over here. You can also just click and drag. But control and left click. And 10 regal shards will make one regal orb. Okay? And a regal orb is allowing you to upgrade a magic item into a rare item. So I'll show you. Now we have a rare item. And then to upgrade our rare items, I may have misspoken earlier, to upgrade our rare items we need exalted orbs. So we're going to upgrade that further. And rare items can have up to 6 modifiers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This one has 4. And so essentially that is how you're going to earn more regal orbs. And you're going to have to find exalted orbs to upgrade those golds even further. But regal orbs are your friend, and the only real way we're going to get them is by disenchanting our items. Here's the other thing. Once you progress through the campaign, you might hear people talking about salvaging your items. So when you have items that say superior on them, like that means that they're a better quality version of that item. The other thing that can happen is you can have an item that has drops with these sockets already in them. And what you would do is you'd click salvage, click this hammer, and then click over the item, and it'll drop you. So we did it for that item. So we salvaged this item I had here, the twin figs. And I go in my inventory, and it gives me an artificer shard. Back to our stash tab, right? Control click, and it moved it right over. And now if we have 10 of them, we get an orb. And orbs allow us to add those modifiers to these items. Or they allow us to add those like sockets to those items. So again, that's how you would get back, and then I'd go and add like a storm socket or whatever. So I know that that's really, it can get quite complicated, but the purpose is essentially always disenchant your items if you can. And then remember that buying items is important too. This Finn guy is the first guy that you're going to be able to buy items from.
Trust me.
He's a gambler. For whatever reason, the way that they've modified this this kind of like drop percentages, he drops really good items. So let's buy his staff just to prove that. So I'm going to control click. And so he dropped a blue item with already a modifier of +5 dexterity. That's pretty good. He always gives you modifiers that are relevant to the weapon, to your class. It's never going to be like a weird, like, shitty modifier that you don't want, okay? So you can always sell your items, but I would recommend disenchanting them because regal orbs don't drop that often. And so I'd rather be responsible for my own outcomes and make a regal orb with regal shards. I know that that's a lot, but I hope that that's like a relatively simple explanation from someone who just didn't understand that. I feel like people really went over that really quickly, and it just didn't make a lot of sense. So I wanted to make a shorter video going over it. Okay, thanks.